Hi guys, welcome back to another episode with us. The Cric Report, and we just had two crazy games that we want to talk about. Obviously, India Pakistan, just an amazing game, and we're both India fans, so I mean we got our India cap here. So that was an amazing game to watch, and so we were just gonna break that down. But then the other game that just happened, Afghanistan England.
England, yeah.
I think that was a I don't know if it was a crazy result because I think we've talked about, and if you followed our videos, we've talked about what we think about England, but um, we'll get into that game as well. But let's get straight into it. India Pakistan, we talked about the preview of that. Um, and what were the kind of key things you said? I remember you said, like, if India get quick wickets early, they might be able to restrict Pakistan, and these kind of things. But the thing is, it almost happened in the opposite way, where Pakistan actually got off to a good start,
Yeah.
but they couldn't capitalize at all.
Yeah, so as we said in that preview, that I was under the impression the same. I was not surprised with the result,
Yeah,
thinking that if India get one wicket of either Rizwan or Babar,
yeah,
the floodgates open,
yeah,
and you saw how it panned out, exactly what we thought of. It's just that the intent wasn't there from Pakistan.
yeah.
I was expecting a better game. Even if you're a neutral or India supporter, you want that
Hmm.
game to go down to the wire. It
Yeah.
didn't feel at all like they were going to get anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, interestingly, when they started, they were quite, brisk at their scoring. After 13 overs, I think they had 70 odd runs or 75 runs, only one wicket down.
Yeah,
And at that point, I thought that this could be a good total for Pakistan, Going at five and over for the first 10 overs is
yeah,
actually a good start in this tournament. That's what we've seen. But then they just lost wickets at regular intervals and just couldn't get going against spin.
yeah. Against spin, you talk about like they've always struggled against slow bowlers on slow pitches.
Yeah,
So if you look at the stats, about what 160 odd dot balls, 60% of the innings was dot balls. So
yeah,
strike rotation has been the problem with them. And also, if you notice, like that team has a lot of flaws in terms of someone like a Barber and a Rizwan, they can't shift gears.
yeah,
If you look at like compared to like a Kohli or a Rohit Sharma or a Rahul,
yeah.
they have that touch game and they have the big game.
Hmm.
So Pakistan is a team which has either the touch players or the or the hitters. They don't have a hybrid player,
Yeah,
which is the key here.
yeah, you're right. I think Rizwan plays that role in a lot of the games they play. Even against Sri Lanka, he started off a bit slowly, Rizwan, but then he picked up the pace.
Yeah,
Um, but Rizwan never got going, and I think Babar is possibly the reason for that because Babar doesn't look like he's in very much form. I mean, like he scored a 50, but it's not like he's taking apart the bowling, manipulating the field and doing all the things that we expect from those great players.
yeah,
Like if you look at Joe Root, you look at Virat Kohli, even Williamson to some extent, they're playing shots like maybe a reverse sweep or they're just dabbing it down to third man. They're moving the fielders around to where they want the field, and Babar seems to just sit and wait for the ball to play a big cover drive or a pull shot. He's not really making that shot.
yeah. Regarding barbarism, like again, if you're a senior player, like I always say, if you're in, you have to score big.
Yeah,
There is no point in scoring a 50 and getting out.
yeah,
It does not work that way. And also, like when you play slow bowlers, instead of trying to score square off the wicket, you got to look to score straight.
yeah,
You look to use your feet,
yeah,
and that's if you see the way he got out, trying to dab a ball at third man, which is on top of off.
yeah, exactly.
Like that should tell you straight away you're a top batter, hit the down the ground,
Yeah,
and if you just stay there for another 10 overs, the platform builds. And even if you're scoring 5 runs and over, then in the last 10, if you score 70, 80, you still get to the 280.
exactly, exactly. And that would have been a good total. 290 would have.
Yeah,
I mean, considering the way Rohit Sharma is playing, I don't think that would have troubled.
it's just the mental
But the
approach.
mental,
Yeah,
exactly, exactly. Yeah, and I was actually really surprised though, because Pakistan, even though they're not known to be good players of spin, they've always been able to hit down the ground, hit the big shots. Even if you look at the match that they had against India in the MCG,
Yeah.
Iftikhar came in and he was hitting sixes, coming down the track and just smashing the ball. And in this game, they were doing none of that. They could barely get the singles down the ground,
Yeah,
let
there's
alone the
no
big
intent.
shots.
So
Yeah,
we talk about intent. Obviously, you have a big crowd you're playing against, but that should not phase you. You've played in multiple
yeah,
tournaments. You played in the PSL. So just like an away game, when they play in football, you play an away game.
yeah,
You're literally 10% of the crowd,
yeah,
but you got to put that shift in. You
exactly.
might not have the crowd, but you got to step up. It's a World Cup. It's a
Yeah,
big occasion. You got to show the world why it deserves to be 7-1 rather than 8-0.
yeah, yeah,
So the mentality, they like we said, they play the. I was stressing this out. Do not play the occasion. Do not play the occasion. I felt that they played the occasion. There's
yeah,
no intent there.
yeah, yeah. Fair enough. But what about the India bowlers? How did you think? So you think it was mainly the Pakistan batsmen not having intent, or did the India bowlers kind of play a part in that?
I think we got to look at in terms of captaincy. Rohit Sharma's captaincy was brilliant.
Yeah,
You saw normally you'd have two spinners bowling in tandem.
yeah,
You had a seamer always in the attack and one side spin.
hmm,
So he was looking to attack from both ends.
yeah,
And the way Kuldeep bowled, Siraj, although he got hit, he came back.
yeah,
So it's just showing the fate. Also, the use of reverse swing was the key. Bumrah got the ball to reverse, the ball got softer.
yeah,
So just that, the way Marshall these troops, I think captaincy and leadership is a skill in itself. It's not just whether you can bat. You got to be able to be the good leader. So
hmm,
just knowing when to get the right bowlers in, I thought he got that spot on.
yeah.
And the bowlers obviously have been delivering. All five bowlers have been really good.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember one instance where he brought Kuldeep Yadav into the attack, and um, Siraj was bowling from the other end. And even though Kuldeep bowled a good over, uh, because Siraj got a wicket and Rizwan came in, he got Jadeja in right away
Yes.
because he knows that Rizwan is weak against Jadeja.
Yeah.
And that almost paid off, They almost got an LBW off Rizwan on like the second or third ball that he faced. So, like you said, I think it was a smart change of bowling. And even taking Bumrah off early when the ball wasn't swinging, wasn't really doing anything, and then bringing Bumrah back, at the strike moment to take two key wickets in Rizwan and Shadab Khan. I mean, that is, I guess, clever captaincy, but it also is lucky to have the bowlers that have the skills to execute.
So if you look at it in terms of the Asia Cup, when Pakistan had India 3 down,
Yeah.
Babar could not kill the game off.
Hmm.
So here, Rohit Sharma got Babar's wicket. He brought on his strike bowlers
Yeah.
to kill the game. So
Exactly.
that's the difference between 191 and the 266, which India managed to get.
Yeah.
So it's about 70 runs, which is game changing.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And then, I mean, uh, if we forget about Pakistan's batting for a second, because they've had games where they have actually scored well and had good intent, what's happening with Pakistan's bowlers? I mean, everyone is getting hit, Shaheen Shah Afridi, he gets hit down the ground, pulls everything. Haris Roth bowling 145 plus, but it doesn't matter. He's getting smacked down the ground by almost everyone, Rohit Sharma, even Basti leader from Netherlands.
Yeah.
He wasn't really troubling them. And why is it that Pakistan's bowling is not able to take the wickets, actually get the batsmen out rather than the batsmen getting themselves out?
Like on commentary, like they said that if you bowl short to Rohit Sharma, it's you just go and pick it up from the stands. So I don't understand why he's trying to bounce him. Even if you're trying to bounce him, you have to make sure that bounce is at least like say third or fourth stump, troubling him so the ball will go up in the air, not giving him width.
Yeah.
Once you give the width, like you saw,
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma will eat that all day.
Yeah, exactly.
And Haris Rauf, considering the limited amount of cricket he plays, the Test cricket.
Yeah.
Test cricket helps you with your lines, lengths, more consistency. If you're bowling 4 overs in a T20 game, it's not going to work in a longer extended. So I think that's the reason Shadab Khan, same thing.
Yeah.
If you're bowling 4 overs in a T20 game, it's different to bowling 10 overs in a one day or a test match.
Yeah.
That's why their lengths have not been right. And the pace probably down is because they've been burnt into the ground. The workload I think the PCB has to take care of their fast bowlers
Hmm.
because, like you saw, one Naseem Shah's collapsed
Yeah.
and Pakistan have collapsed. So I think they need to share that workload, manage the workload. I think
Hmm.
India has done really well. Bumrah comes in for the Ireland test, but he doesn't play the other
Yeah.
games. So we were questioning India, but I think they've managed it pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing, right? We were talking about Pakistan's depth.
Yeah,
After the players that are in the squad,
there's
who
not
else?
much
Like,
to
who would
show.
you bring in, right? There's no one. And even the spinners, like, okay, we're saying Shadab Khan is not going to play, he's not bowling well. But who's the leggy that's going to be brought in to replace him?
Yeah,
Like, there's nobody in the ranks, you know? And even with the Nawaz, he's bowling he's bowling left arm buffet bowling.
yeah,
Like he's just putting it on the spot, barely turns it, and he's the second best spinner.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean Pakistan need to look at how they can cultivate bowlers, I guess, in their domestic scene, or bring up and promote bowlers so that there's a big list of people waiting to play on the first team. Because, like you said, look at India. Say if Kuldeep wasn't able to play,
yeah.
Ashwin is coming straight in.
Yes.
Say even Ashwin is not able to play, you know, really experienced people like Yuzi
Bishnoi, Chahal,
Chahal
Bishnoi.
is waiting.
Yeah.
He would love to play a World Cup game as well. And the thing is, he would do well.
Yes.
So,
I think it's more the structure. Like if you look at it, what the IPL, like if you bring the IPL in, what the IPL has done is pump the money in,
yeah,
but the money has been then used to grassroots again.
yeah,
If you notice, the Ranji games are shown live on TV.
yeah,
The PCB have not done that for themselves. They just have YouTube links.
yeah,
So if those games are not shown or aired, then
yeah,
you can see the infrastructure. If you look at the 1990s, both teams were on the same page where you had a Johanna Inzamam and then matching Sachin Tendulkar. But then one team's gone up, the other team's gone down.
yeah,
That the reason is again the structure of the Indian cricket. Like they've invested in that fast bowling. They have an NCA, the National
yeah,
Cricket Academy. Pakistan do not have the resources or have not used that money well, which the ICC have given or the PCL has brought in.
yeah.
So that's a massive change.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think going forward in the tournament, um, India looks really good. They
Yeah.
seem like they don't have many weaknesses because, the top order, almost every batsman is getting an opportunity and playing well. Rahul has now played well. Iyer has scored a 50. Sharma has scored a 50. Kohli scored a 50. I mean, Sharma scored 100 as well, but Kohli scored 50. My point being, everybody has played. Even Ishan Kishan
Yeah.
got 47.
Yes.
So almost everybody that's batting for India is willing and can score runs, even in pressure situation. Even Shubman Gill looked really good.
Yeah.
So I think India will have one game where they'll probably collapse, and have to be saved by the middle order, lower order. But they look really strong.
Um,
But Pakistan, I don't know where they go in the tournament necessarily.
I think for Pakistan, the changes, the less they change, the better. I think now, just
Yeah.
for this tournament, just go with it. Just take it one. That game's gone. It's a bad day at the office.
Yeah,
For India, I think they've got all bases covered. They probably look like with the team with the most bases covered.
yeah,
Alongside, you have New Zealand and South Africa. But
Yeah.
when they play each other, we'll see. But I just feel them coming off this Asia Cup, the momentum's built. They're at home.
exactly.
You had over 100,000 people in that ground.
Yeah,
So that just gels you up. Also, the team bonding. If you notice after the game, the way they are, the way they talk to each other, there's a bit like of this camaraderie.
yeah,
And in the world, if you want to win World Cups, you got a squad. It's not
Yeah.
a team. It's meant to be a squad.
yeah,
So even those who are not playing, they're happy. They're happy for the other person. So
exactly.
I think that's very important.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're right in that sense. This India team's like it seems like a brotherhood almost,
Yeah, well,
you know.
yeah.
Everybody's really happy for each other, and you know that if anybody gets replaced in the batting
Yeah.
order or bowling order, it's gonna be because the
It's a
game
tactical
situation
change, yeah.
and tactical, and they're all happy
Yeah.
that at least we're winning the game,
Yes.
And just bringing up, I think New Zealand and South Africa seem like they're the same.
Similar. Yeah.
You know, everybody that's coming in and playing for them is happy to be winning the games,
and all their middle orders are
Yeah.
contributing, which
exactly,
is the key.
exactly. And that's the thing. It's like everybody knows their own games, and they know
Rules.
that they'll get the chance
Yeah.
to contribute.
Yes.
They don't have to overshine their peers in every single game. They're not fighting for spots. they're gonna get their chance.
They're
Yeah,
not
exactly.
over-reliant or over-reliant on
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
to score the runs and
yeah.
stuff. So
No,
you'll
but
see
I'm
that.
saying for the mentality from the players that
Yes,
they're confident in themselves and they're confident that
they back
they're
their
gonna
ability.
get the opportunities to contribute to winning. You
Yeah,
know, they're not like in some teams,
you don't
some
play for yourself,
yeah,
basically.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. They're playing for the team. Um, I think that's really good, and that like India again like showed against Afghanistan that they've been batting really well, and just comparing, a lot of people said like, oh, Afghanistan's bowling wasn't good, but that's just segueing to the game today. I mean, Afghanistan has good bowling, and England is in dire straits now. Like they've been bowled out for 190. Um, you know, and it's like we talked about. England is not does not have the bowlers, you know,
yes,
to restrict an opposition. Um, Even today, they relied on Liam Livingstone to give them 10 overs. And though he bowled well
yeah,
against a good team like South Africa, India, and you even saw against New Zealand, Liam Livingstone is not going to be able to bowl 10 overs for 30 runs. He's going for 60, 70 runs at least, you know? So England seems like having a problem where they don't have bowlers and even they don't seem to have batsmen either.
I think like I was saying, like I know Australia have their team, but there's a lot of all rounders. You can't rely on all rounders. You
Yeah,
have to have your 7 batters or 6 batters who get you that 200, 280, and you have your 5 bowlers who will bowl you over. There is a hybrid, but there's only one or two.
yeah,
You can't have 3 or 4 all rounders. Then what happens? You become over reliant. The
exactly.
next person will do the job. The next person will
Yeah,
do the job,
yeah,
and that's the thing which you have seen between with England and on Australia.
yeah,
Like you see, India have their batters, then they have the bowlers, and then they have Hardik Pandya,
yeah,
who does the hybrid role.
exactly.
But they know their roles and
Yeah,
responsibility. Here, like I don't really see that happening.
yeah,
Also, quality spin. We look at if you look at quality spinners, they don't really have one. Rashid is there, but Rashid has played in England and done well.
yeah,
He hasn't played like in Indian conditions,
yeah,
or even the matter of fact on IPL.
yeah,
It gives you so much confidence. It
yeah,
brings so much in you.
yeah,
So I think that's what they'll have to. Also, the last thing is application with the batting is not yet there.
yeah. And I think I'll pick up on 2 points there. I think with the spinners, um, my take on this is that the English spinners always try to bowl magic balls.
Yeah,
You know, they're not consistent. And because in England you have to bowl a magic ball to get a wicket,
yeah,
they're always trying to bowl like a leg spinner that pitches on leg stump, hits top of off,
yeah,
or a googly that goes through the gate. They're not just bowling the consistent, you know, dot ball type of cricket, which you need to do in countries like India,
yeah,
because if you give a loose ball, you'll be hit into the stands,
yeah.
you know. And other spinners, I'm not going to say only India, but if you look at South Africa,
Mitchell Santner,
Maharaj, Mitchell Santner, they can bowl consistently on one spot
yeah,
again and again and again and again, and they're successful. So
yeah,
I think with the spin, yeah, England doesn't have a spinner that can bowl in one spot and just
yeah.
get you, you know, and tie down an end, and also then pick out 1 or 2 wickets. You know, they have these spinners that want to take a 5 wicket every game, but that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, now spin's massive. Like in India, we said, and if I'll touch upon the batting. You have to have someone who can play that anchor role. It is still old-fashioned cricket, but you need someone to bat through the innings. Then the others play around him.
Yeah, yeah,
You've seen Joe Root. I think there's freedom, and then there's
reckless.
yeah, recklessness. So that's what I think
Yeah.
they need to get the balance of.
But that's the whole, I think that's the whole debate of English cricket, which is baseball freedom or is baseball recklessness? And I've always argued that baseball is reckless cricket.
Yeah,
You know, even in the test matches, England could have won this Ashes series that just happened like 4-1 or 4-0, and they threw away key moments of, for example, the Edgbaston test, Lord's test,
yeah,
from reckless batting. You know, and they're doing the same thing in this World Cup. Even in the first game against New Zealand,
yeah.
you know, Harry Brook, just reckless batting.
Yeah, 20 runs off
Smashes,
the over.
yeah,
And then,
smashes one to mid. like deep mid wicket gets out, and they're just playing reckless cricket like that. So I think England needs to really sort out the mentality of how to play ruthless cricket, without being completely reckless.
Also, just know where your surroundings are. Conditions are different. In England, you'll get away with it. In India, you might not get away with it.
Exactly.
So just knowing
Yeah.
your surroundings.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. Like England, this is one thing where I think it ties into the final thing. I guess we'll talk about this, which is in India, the pitches aren't bad, but the pitches do nothing.
Yeah.
In England, the pitches do everything.
Yeah.
And so you can have average skills, but really get the ball to nip and
Yeah.
be a world beater in England. But when you go to a country like India, where the only thing maybe you'll get is spin, right? That doesn't mean the pitch is bad. That means that you need to up your skills and
yeah.
be able to play on a pitch that's not what you think is good, right?
Yeah, because India have toured England over the last few years and
Yeah.
they've done pretty well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think England, unless they can figure out how to play good cricket and ruthless cricket, but not reckless cricket, I don't know. I don't think they'll go very far in this tournament.
No, I don't. I'll have to change that prediction as well on
Yeah.
my side. I see New Zealand, South Africa, India,
Yeah, and
and
then
probably an Australia or Pakistan.
yeah, exactly. I think
There might be a slim chance, but
yeah,
now I'm looking at them as the fourth.
exactly,
Fourth
fighting for fourth spot,
Yeah.
definitely. But the tournament goes on. We'll see
Yeah.
how it goes. A lot of exciting games coming up, and we'll continue to cover them. Stay tuned in our channel. Like and subscribe. The support is always important, and hope you guys like our analysis. Hope you like our videos, and we'll be back for the rest of the World Cup.
Yeah. See you in the next one. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.